let's say you see this kind of a simple question in your chemistry JAMB exam. How will you solve it? Let us solve it together. The question says, what volume of gas is evolved at STP, that is standard temperature and pressure, if 2 grams of CaCO3 is added to a solution of HCl, which is hydrochloric acid? And you can see the options. So let us quickly solve this question together. This question is a stoichiometry question and it deals with mass and volume relationship, right? To solve this particular question, the first thing you should always do is to write the equation of the reaction, right? And we know that CaCO3 is reacting with what? HCl. So you can write CaCO3 reacting with HCl, right? HCl. If these two things react, what will be our product? Our product is going to be calcium chloride, which is CaCl2 plus H2O, and there's still one more thing, a gas, and that gas is CO2. You should always note that anytime a carbonate reacts with an acid, there will always be an evolution of CO2 gas, right? So to solve this particular question, you should know that what we are looking at is CaCO3 because we were given a mass of CaCO3 to also get the amount of gas, right? You know, we are looking for the volume of gas. So the main things or the main parameters we need to deal with in this question, or the main compounds we need to deal with in this question, is CaCO3 and our CO2, because those are the most or the important parameters that we were given in the question to work with, right? So now we need to write the relationship between CaCO3 and this CO2. The first thing before we do that is to balance this reaction, right? Is to balance this reaction normally by mass, right? How many calcium do we have on the reactant side? One calcium here also. Okay, that's balanced. How many carbon? One carbon. How many carbon here? One carbon. That's balanced. Okay, oxygen, we have 3 oxygen here. We also have 2 oxygen and 1 oxygen. That's 3 oxygen. That's also balanced. But if you see, we have 2 hydrogen atoms. Why we have 1 here? So what do? We add 2 moles of HCl so as to balance the reaction. Now we have 2 hydrogen atoms at the reactant side, also at the product side. Also, we have 2 chlorine atoms also at the reactant side. So this reaction has been balanced. So now we need to write how many moles of CaCO3 do we have here? We have only 1 mole. And here, how many moles of CO2? We also have just 1 mole, right? So the next thing is to compare the masses, right? The mass and the volume relationship. Because if you check here, you see that we are given the mass of CaCO3 and we are told to calculate the volume of the gas, right? So now we need to calculate the mass or the molar mass of CaCO3, and we're given some parameters here so we can use to calculate it, right? So calcium, the atomic mass of calcium is 40, so we can write 40 plus, right, plus carbon is 12, right, plus 12, and then plus we have 3 atoms of oxygen, so we can write 3 times, what is the atomic mass of oxygen? 16. So 16, right? So if you sum all of those up, you should get, if you add everything up, you get 100, right? That's 100 grams per mole. Let's just write 100 grams, right? And here we need to write the volume in relation to carbon 4 oxide. We only have 1 mole of carbon 4 oxide here, which is CO2. And according to Avogadro's law, 1 mole of all gases at STP, 1 mole of all gases at standard temperature occupy the same volume, and that volume is 22.4 dm3. And we'll call that volume the molar volume of all gases. So all gases at standard temperature and pressure will always occupy the same volume, right? So this is 1 mole of CO2. So that means it will occupy what amount of volume? 22.4 dm3, which is the same thing as 22.4 liters. So we can write 22.4 dm3. Why are we writing 22.4 dm3? Because it is just 1 mole of CO2, right? If we had 2 moles, we have to make it 2 multiplied by 22.4 dm3, right? So you can see the relationship. So now we were given 2 grams of CaCO3 is added to a solution of hydrochloric acid. So now we need to write the mass that they gave us to solve this thing according to the normal parameters that we have available, right? So now 2 grams. So you can just write 2 grams here. So 2 grams will give us what? That is what we are calculating now. X, or let's say X dm3, right? So 100 grams gave us 22.4 dm3 of CO2. So 2 grams will give us X dm3 of CO2 gas, right? So the next thing to do here is to cross multiply, right? You need to cross multiply. So X will multiply 100. So we have something like 100x is equal to 2 grams we multiply 22.4. If 2 grams multiply 22.4, we are going to be having something like 44.8, right? So the next thing is to calculate the value of our x, and if you want to calculate the value of our s, we divide both sides by 100, right? Divide both sides by 100, divide both sides by 100, right? So 100 will cancel 100. So our x is going to be what? If you divide this, you should get something 0.448 dm cube, right? So we should see our answer here. But now, oh wow, all of our answers are in centimeter cube. So you need to know conversion. You need to know conversion. So let me tell you this thing. 1000 centimeter cube makes 1 dm cube, 1 decimeter cube. You should know that. Don't forget this thing. I should know that 1 dm cube is equal to 1 liter, right? So 1000 cm cube makes 1 liter. So if we want to convert this particular answer to cm cube, we need to multiply this by 1000, right? So we have something like 0.448 times 1000, right? Times 1000. So that should give us 448 c. Okay, that should give us 448 cm cube, right? So I think that should be in our answer, and that is option C. So the correct answer is option C. I believe this is very simple to understand. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments. And if you have been looking for the best app to use to practice for your JAMB exam, Class 54 app is the best app to use to practice for your JAMB exam, right? If you want to download the Class 54 app, head on to your Play Store or App Store to download the Class 54 app. You should have the Class 54 app downloaded on your phone so you can use it to practice for your JAMB exam. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.